So let's begin CA final advanced auditing paper analysis, and I hope every student fantastically wrote this paper because it's one of the, I cannot say easiest paper or tough, but it's a moderate paper. Like if you ask me the level of toughness out of 10, I can give 5 out of 10. If 10 is the most tough paper, the level at which this was asked is 5. Pretty direct questions, majority of them. Like what I heard is MCQs were a bit tricky, especially some NBFC related MCQ was tested regarding some percentages. That's what one student communicated to me, and I think that was something which is tough. So apart from that, except some 2 or 3 descriptive questions, rest entire paper was actually moderate. And this is one paper which once again reminds you, don't go for shortcuts. If you learn properly the subject conceptually, like very simple, the institute is more pragmatically testing the questions. Like they are making all the papers very practical. They don't want to test your memory part alone. They want to test your application part, analytical part. Actually I made a video already and I deleted, and I'm uploading this video once again. You know why? What is the reason? Because of this 1B question. Actually in the previous video I told it's an emphasis of matter paragraph, and now also I'm saying that it is emphasis of matter paragraph. This is not a going concern para, this is an emphasis of matter paragraph. Like one student argued saying that this is wrong answer, whatever I told. No, it's right answer. This is not there anywhere in the CA Institute study material, this particular question. So what happened is, here I'll tell you, there is you are a branch auditor. One big question I'm telling you, where there is a huge discussion among the students also, as far as whatever I saw in the groups. So you are the auditor of a Delhi branch, and this Delhi branch has disclosed the matter. What matter? Like this company does not continue, this particular branch is not a going concern, and all the values are shown at recoverable values that are likely to be recovered, nothing but NRV method. This example is not there in the main standard of the going concern. I told you this has to be highlighted in emphasis of matter paragraph. Like this particular financial statements of Delhi branch, they honestly disclosed everything. They even prepared the financials without using going concern, which is actually apt for that entity, and they disclosed that fact. Now they are asking you, draft a suitable opinion paragraph and basis thereof. Nothing but you give unmodified opinion, and you also given basis for opinion. So unqualified opinion, basis for opinion. You just mention that the financial statements are showing true and fair, and suitable place in the audit report regarding this note number 10. And I told you in the previous paper analysis emphasis, even now I'm telling you it's an emphasis. I will show you with the proof. This is original SA 570 text. This is the Bare Act, nothing but it's like a Bare Act. In that application material 27th point, when the use of going concern basis of accounting is not appropriate, management may be required to prepare the financial statements on another basis, that is liquidation basis. That is what exactly Delhi branch did now. The auditor may be able to perform audit of financials. That audit determines whatever. You see here, the auditor has to include an emphasis of matter paragraph in accordance with 706 in the audit report to draw the attention to the alternative basis of accounting and reasons thereof. This point I say has tested, which is actually, I didn't expect that they will test this. But as a faculty, I obviously have the knowledge of this because I read entire application material of the ICI. So immediately I figured out in the previous analysis. So I don't know how many of you have already watched my previous version. Before this, I uploaded my analysis video, but I deleted now. I don't know how many of you have watched it. So I said emphasis of matter paragraph swiftly. Later, I recognized that is not there in the book. In the ICI book or any fast track book that you find in the market, nowhere it will be there. So then I deleted, and I want to do this. And I say, literally, they should not do like this. Something which is not there in the book at all, they are not supposed to test. What I am expecting is, for this 1B, whatever answer you are writing, they have to give grace marks for this. I feel they are supposed to, because this is something they didn't discuss anywhere in the book. Even we don't also teach in the class also. Already, people are saying like, almost every faculty auditing class, even my advanced auditing classes of almost close to 130 hours, almost in the market also, other faculties are also close to 120 to 130 hours. Many students are complaining that it has to be reduced to 100, which is not possible. If at all we had all this, which is not there in the book, students will complain, saying it is not there in the book, why are you teaching? I think this is one such example. Actually, it's a very easy point, it's a very easy point. So it's a straight question from pronouncement, application material. This is something, in the institute book, this is there. Even this below parts also there. This in between point is there. This is not covered in the ICS study material. Even in the CA intro also it is not covered. Maybe next time when I'm recording my next edition of when I'm doing my next edition, when I'm taking my next edition, so there I will add this point. In fact, I told this in the class also once. Getting it? But since it is not there anywhere in the book, nobody could have, nobody could have given attention to it. So that's it. So this is exactly emphasis of matter paragraph. If at all you wrote something else also, don't worry. I'm thinking that ICI will definitely, ICI has given a notification saying you can give suggestions to the ICI on the paper analysis. You can write a mail to the ICI that so and so question is not covered anywhere in the concept. How can we write being a student? Obviously it is not fair. You can just politely tell them that kindly allowed grace marks for it. So I think they might respond. We don't know. And the first one is regarding SA 220 SQC. It's actually mainly SQC, where there is a difference of opinion between the, that's a different question. Here, acceptance and continuation of client relationship. It's an acceptance and continuation of client relationship related. So what matters you will consider while accepting and continuing client relationship. So here when you're reading, integrity of the client. One of the important ingredient is what? Integrity of the client. Related to that, some reputation of the client. Getting it? Whether any investigation is going on the client. So by considering all this, it is advisable for the auditor not to accept this appointment, not to consider this relationship. So that's the conclusion you have to give. Again, remember, I am not reading the in-depth question. If at all I have to sit and explain each and every point, it will be taking a lot of time. Getting it? So this is straight away main attention is for acceptance. It's straight away SQC question, 220 question. In both the cases, acceptance and continuation of client relationship is covered. Same points were covered. Next, then 1C. This is regarding factors affecting auditor's determination of acceptability of applied criteria for summary financial statements. So how summary financials are prepared? So on what criteria you have prepared? So what are the factors you decide based on the summary financial statements? So nature of the entity, how far financial reporting framework permits that, like that, some 4 or 5 points for them. So 8, 10 in our book, those who followed our material in question number 13, 2B point. And I specifically told this itself will be tested. Even in test your knowledge also this point is there. Test your knowledge also, it's a straight question. Almost all the questions are straight. And this is a 402 question. What they are asking is, what aspects to be considered by judge in using assurance report as audit evidence that controls are operating effectively? So when you are checking a type 2 report, what points you will check? This is a straight question again. This is a straight question. They are not even asking application part. They are straight away asking what points you will check when you're what points you will consider when you are verifying type 2 report of service auditor. Getting it? Of the entity using service organization. Getting it? So it's a straight question number 8 question. Inside that some 5-6 points were there. So since it's a 5 marks, you are expected to write 5 points. Then this question, I think, I don't know how many of you paid attention to this in the ethics, because generally why some students felt this paper is tough, because they're really prepared for tough. Actually, they expected a lot of difficult questions. Suddenly when they find very basic questions, they are unable to recognize that they are very basic. Sometimes if the institute unexpectedly gives you, there is a saying in cricket or any, if the opponent throws a ball, which is the very easiest ball, wicket falls. Because the batsman is always prepared for hitting the toughest ball. Getting it? So there is a saying. So sometimes we fail, not because the paper is really tough, but because the paper is easy also we fail sometimes. Fine. So in this, they are asking a straight question. Look at this last line. In deciding whether to decide confidential information, what points should be kept in mind by the professional accountant? In whether can you share the client data? So what point you should keep in mind? It's a fundamentals. Ethics introduction is there, no professional ethics introduction is there, no confidentiality, integrity, independence, like that. Inside confidentiality, one of the support is talking about factors that professional accountant should consider. So in our material, those of you who follow our material, question number 1, D, which is talking about confidentiality, inside that 6th point, matters to be considered while disclosing the information to others by the professional accountant. It's a straight question. Even in the last attempt also, they asked unexpected questions on ethics. Fundamental principles. What are fundamental principles for professional ethics? Independence, integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional competence. This question they asked. Now also they're asking from that particular segment only. Next. This actually we have a straight question in internal audit trail topic is there. We have auditorial topic in internal audit. Inside that, one subpart they asked, controls on auditor, what auditor will verify. So that particular question, it's a straight question, it's a straight question in internal audit. This topic is newly added in internal audit chapter. So it's a very easy question, technically speaking. Next, this is nothing but elucidate steps to be taken, steps in investigation, nothing but. See, you see here, Core Limited, a credit proposal for the sanction of term loan 150 crore required for procuring and installing plant and machinery for upcoming project. Based on the application, this particular bank approached CA to investigate the profitability of the business and repayment, as well as the value of the security in the form of assets, business already processed, and those which will be created out of the loan. So elucidate the steps. Some here, two things that strikes my mind. One, financial due diligence. Two, investigation. So I think it's a judgmental thing. I think ICI has given this in the context of investigation, getting it. So that's why I considered steps in investigation. Sometimes opinion differs. Now this is regarding, here no, the auditor is giving opinion, audit report on financial statements, 3 years, financial statements containing 3 years related figures. Or I can say he is giving financial statements. You are doing audit of restated financials of 3 financial years. You asked at the end of the audit, you asked the management representation. Management gave representation only for the latest year. On the reason, like what reason they are saying is, for these 2 years we are not present, sir. We are only present for this year. Past years and all, that management is different. We are not there in the past year. So how do we give? No, you must give representation. Being a management, you must give representation for all the periods covered in the financial statements. So this is a straight question given in 580. It's actually there in CA Interbook, question number 8. In fact, your CA final study material says very clearly at 580 diagram, refer CA Interbook. They clearly said that. Next. So this is one, I think, which some students might not go well. This 1B and this. So 2 questions. Until now, 2 questions, 5 marks and 5 marks. I think these 2 questions are something which students, felt little tough. Remaining are absolutely straight questions. Next. This one is regarding, you were appointed as a secretary. Just a minute. By central government for a metro project, not on a salary come full-time basis. You are absolutely eligible to accept. Clause number 11, in that exception is there. A CA, for clause number 11, exception is what? If at all you are appointed as a liquidator, arbitrator, or registrar, or valuer, or secretary, or any appointment by central or state government, not on salary come employment basis, getting it, as a secretary. So it is permitted. So that point, many of us, when we are reading this clause number 11, we focus on what are the general permissions, what are the special permissions, all that. But we pay very less attention to this point. The secretary appointed by central government, we pay very less attention. Because in that point also, liquidator, all that we pay attention. No, we don't pay this. That's why whenever you are reading, pay attention to each and every word, each and every line. If at all you paid attention and observed that point, you could have really done this paper very well. So he can do well. He can accept this appointment. So next, this is regarding engagement quality control review and engagement partner had differences of opinion. How this difference of opinion can be resolved? So in SQC, in-depth answer is given. In SA 220, just as a paragraph they have given, but the SQC answer is what they're expecting. But you need to quote SA 220 also, because they're asking regarding audit, audit related thing. This because it's a, not even 220, sorry. It's a review only. Upon completion of review, just a minute, let me check this. Okay, the firm undertakes stat audit of listed company. Mr. Giri has assigned an engagement quality reviewer for audit engagement. Okay, fine, it's an audit engagement only, 220 also applicable. Suppose if at all they use the word review of interim financial, then 220 will not apply. Getting it? But for review of interim financials, quality control will not apply anyhow. So it's an audit engagement, 220 SQC, both only will apply. So difference of opinion. So straight away 5 marks. And this is regarding 4410. So what here they're asking exactly? MNC engaged Lalit to help company in compilation. Okay, compilation engagement. So discuss the key issues that Lalit should deliberate and guide his team with respect to engagement and matters that differ. Okay, so you need to tell your team members what is a compilation engagement and what is the purpose of compilation engagement, how it is different from assurance engagement, audit engagement, review engagement, how it is different. So question number 9 in our book, like actually though it's question number 9, but in 4410 it is question number 2 only. Next. This is SDG, so sustainable development goal related straight question. Actually, I tell people not to cover sustainable development goal and digital audit. Both are lengthy chapters. Digital audit is so lengthy. I tell my students and everybody to ignore this chapter. And luckily, not more than 12 to 14 marks came from these two chapters. So 100, more than 100 marks you can happily attempt. Maybe if at all it comes in MCQ or maybe in compulsory question, hardly some 5 to 7 marks you will lose, but rest 95 marks you can happily attempt. Then it is regarding 2410, material uncertainty related to going concern. Here it is regarding the, you are doing review of interim financial information. You are doing review of interim financial information. No financial institutions are ready to lend additional funding limits since the company is continuously incurring losses, which is a going concern symptom. And the company has also defaulted loans and interest over the last few years. So under these circumstances, you are the auditor. Reena is the auditor who is doing the review for the first time. Noted the company has not disclosed any information in interim financials regarding material uncertainty. If at all the entity is facing a material uncertainty and not disclosed in the financial statements, you have to give an adverse conclusion. Yes or no? By the way, it's a review, man. It's not opinion. You cannot use the word opinion. You should give adverse conclusion because material uncertainty related to going concern is not disclosed in the financial statements, not disclosed in the interim financial information. Alternatively, suppose they also ask another, what if the entity discloses it? If at all the entity discloses, you can still give unqualified opinion and give a separate para, material uncertainty related to going concern, and draw attention to that particular disclosure in the financial statements. That's it. Next, this is regarding, so the company, R Limited and all its components are required to present their accounts as per Ind AS. While preparing consolidated, R Limited consolidates its component on line by line basis by adding together. Okay, R Limited is asking your advice, accounting treatment for above components for consolidation. So they are asking Ind AS question. Companies, companies Ind AS rules, nothing but Ind AS question they are asking. Next, 250 versus NOCLAR. So here, the auditor, according to CAR, provisions of 250 and NOCLAR under revised codes are one and same. That's wrong. NOCLAR is applicable right now as per the amendments and all. In 2021, 2022, there was an amendment where the NOCLAR is applicable only for audit of listed entities. Getting it? And senior accountants in listed entities, only for them. Getting it? For others, it is not applicable. Whereas 250, SA 250 compliance is, SA 250 responsibilities of auditor relating laws and regulations is applicable for all types of audits. Then, here it is CARO 2020 clause number 8, unexpected question. I felt this is unexpected. Like in CARO, we have a clause number 8 where it talks about disclosure of, discovery of undisclosed income. And we need to check whether the entity has disclosed that income, whether the entity has recognized that income in the books of accounts as a prior period item or not. So that point they're asking. This is something I didn't expect. This question also will be asked because I generally, whenever some students ask me important clauses in CARO, I never select this. So this is one question that I felt surprising. So till now 15 marks I felt surprising. Next, this is a digital audit question, straight question, digital audit question. As an IT manager, explain key areas for an auditor to understand IT environment. What are the key areas to understand in an IT environment? So that's it. So this is the actual question. Even if you read the entire story or not, doesn't matter. Next, here a CA, a chartered accountant, he is handling one tribunal related case where he quoted the client, the fees for filing appeal and to plead income tax will be 5 lakhs or 10% of the tax demand reduced, whichever is higher. So how much benefit SSE got on the 10% or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. So as a percentage of something he's charging, you need to list out clause number 10, part number 1, schedule number 1. A CA is not permitted to accept fees as a percentage of profit or a percentage of something else, benefit or which is a contingent. This is actually contingent basis. This is actually contingent basis because how much tax will be reduced, we don't know. Contingency. Since some contingency is involved, obviously, so he is guilty. He's deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct. By the way, you need to give exceptions also. And this do not come under exception for audit of corporate society, for valuation services, like various services they listed out. In that list, this particular thing is not covered. Representation before income tax authorities for any appeals or any tribunal, whatever, that is not covered. So you need to mention that he is guilty of professional misconduct because he is charging fees on contingency basis. Now, this is regarding how to do as an engagement partner, suggest any 4 procedures. Okay, fine. During the engagement meeting, the audit manager asked regarding audit process to be undertaken to verify aforesaid company has followed prudential norms. This is regarding NBFC audit. Whether NBFC has followed prudential norms or not, how to do the audit. In the NBFC, if you go open NBFC audit, there is a question, there is a topic called steps in doing NBFC audit. In that, one of the step is talking about prudential norms verification. So that step you have to write. This is also a pretty straight question. That's it. So this is my view on the paper. So all these majority what I found is straight questions, except some 15 marks in the entire descriptive part of 90 marks. Entire descriptive part is for 90 marks. Only 15 marks of the questions I felt surprising. But so this 1B who defended me, I think now you will agree because I showed you with the proof also. That's it. All the very best. And like if at all with the group 1 your stop, I mean your attempt is over. Like if you're planning group 2 for the next attempt November, be prepared. Do prepare each and every corner also, because I personally felt after looking at my papers, because since it's a new scheme, because much of resources are also not available, I think ISA has tested very in a simplest way, not that tough. I felt even FR and AFM also, some students told me it's not that tough. Genuinely, I genuinely talked to some students, so they tell me always a genuine opinion. So they felt it is not that tough, moderate only all the 3 papers. But I think November attempt, I don't know, they will make it tough or not, we don't know. It's not because November, because it's first exam, because the same thing happened in last time new scheme also. May 2018 was the first exam. May 2018 paper was very good, actually very simple. November 2018 also very simple. 2019 onwards the game started. 2021 the game has enhanced. 2022 the worst papers came in the history. So that's why I'm telling you, because institute, no, maybe initially because of lack of resources, all that, considering all that, they might be testing in a moderate level. We don't know exactly how is their exam strategy, but this is what my analysis, because I've seen it in 2018. I saw this in 2009 also, when IPCC was introduced from PE2, and from IPCC to CA inter new scheme or CA final new scheme, same way that time IPCC to CA inter new scheme, then CA inter new scheme to again new scheme. This is with the 6 subjects. Getting it? So initially they give easiest papers in the first attempt, but the second attempt onwards they will be increasing the standard. Now this paper itself is one evidence that they are testing it from every corner. So we can't leave any corner. All the very best. Take care.